I've always said that quilting was as easy as ABC. A is for Alex, Q is for quilting, of course, and Y is for Y seams. Today, we'll show you the correct technique to create a Y seam that will come out perfect every single time. And quilting jumps into the computer age. We'll find out how to surf the net and design spectacular quilts that will keep you on the cutting edge. We've got a great show today, so join us on Simply Quilts. Hi, I'm Alex Anderson, and welcome to Simply Quilts. Today we're going to learn a great technique called Y seams with my guest Sharon Craig. Sharon, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
We run into each other in the oddest places, but not here.
No, that's
This is
true.
not odd. You belong here. You're going to teach us about Y seams.
Yes, I am.
Explain what a Y seam is to me. Let's take a look at the first block you brought. It's a Lemoyne star.
This is the simple Lemoyne star, and a Y seam is the intersection of three pieces that come together and form the basic Y. This Y appears in lots and lots of different blocks.
It's not like any sort of straight seam where you can just sew across. There is a trick there.
There is a trick in order to make it lay down flat and turn the corner. It's also called set-in piecing, and some people may know it by that name.
Let's take a look at two of the quilts you brought today. The first one, I call it the angel quilt, but you call it
North Star.
North Star. And that's made from Y seams.
Yes, the star is set together in a lot of different Ys as the various diamonds come together with the background pieces that way. And it was inspired by an antique quilt that I saw. I don't really know the name of the actual quilt, so I've just called it a North Star, because to me that little red diamond was pointing north.
It's a lovely quilt. Now the other quilt you brought is called Snow Crystal?
Snow Crystal is the name of the large block that you see there, and in the intersections you'll see at the cornerstones I've got lots of small Lemoyne stars, because my feeling is if we can get our quilters to practice on the simple little Lemoyne star, then they'll be ready for the blocks that have a lot more pieces, such as the Snow Crystal and the North Star quilts.
I know people are real resistant to the Y seam, and it's not a big deal.
It's not hard, and they won't be resistant if they can be successful. When they're resistant is because it doesn't work.
Because it doesn't work.
That's right.
Let's give everybody the cutting numbers, and then we can go to work, all right? So, in order to make a 6-inch, we're making a 6-inch Lemoyne star.
Finished block, yes.
For A, which is the star tip, you need 8 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch diamonds. And for the background B, we need 4 2 1/4 inch squares. And for C, you need 1 3 3/4 inch square cut twice on the diagonal.
Right.
Correct. Now, you use templates, Sharon.
I do.
Let's talk about templates. Those are all rotary cut, but templates.
The templates that I use, I draft myself, but it doesn't matter whether a student drafts their own pieces or whether they've gotten them from a pattern or a handout or just what. What's going to make them successful is if they take the pattern piece that they have and adhere it to something that they can't cut with a rotary cutter. And that's why I use this particular product.
These are wonderful pre-made templates.
No, they're not pre-made.
Pre-made? Oh,
no,
you make it yourself. It's
the
product. Okay.
It's the product. All you have to do is take your pattern piece and with a glue stick, glue it to a sheet of the laminate that comes in, and you can see there's a special cutter, because a rotary cutter won't cut this material, but the special cutter will.
And it lasts forever.
Forever. You cannot ruin these with a rotary cutter.
Now, for those of us who love to cut your diamond, show me quickly how to do this on with this roller.
If you're cutting a diamond without a template, you need to cut a strip for our 6-inch star, a 1 3/4 inch strip. And I have left my strip folded in fourths here because we need 4 of these blue diamonds for our block. So the first thing I'm going to do, Alex, is establish a 45-degree angle by putting the 45-degree line of the ruler so that it lines up with the outside edge of my strip. And then with the rotary cutter,
get out of your way here.
That's a good idea.
Especially with a rotary cutter.
You establish that 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Now from that cut line, you just take your ruler and you put it down so that the line that's 1 3/4 inches lines up with the line we just established, and cut.
Easy as that.
And
there's
now
your
what
diamond.
you have is 4 diamonds cut, and they are the perfect size to do the 6-inch Lemoyne star.
Show me the piecing sequence here, but before actually you start piecing, we need to really talk about the presser foot, because that's a big deal.
Exactly, because you know, one of the reasons that people have a lot of problems is because they can't see what they're doing. And you'll notice that on this foot right here, there's nothing between the toes. This is called an open-toed foot.
Okay.
And you compare that to the traditional foot that most quilters use on their machines, and there's so much stuff between the toes they can't see. The visibility is in the way.
All right.
So if you have an open-toed foot on your machine, and whatever you're using to mark your 1/4 inch, whether it's a line on your throat plate or whether it's with a product like Dr. Scholl's or a guide like on the foot of a lot of the machines, it doesn't matter. So you can line up with the edge of the foot or whatever it is that you're doing.
Okay, quickly step me through this. We're going to do this little segment right here.
In order to create the star, we have to make 4 of these to begin with. So what I have done is laid the pieces out, one on top of another, so that I have 4 of these units, as you can see here. And this is the angle that the quilters want to be at in order to make the star. And what you're going to begin by doing is pick up the triangle and position it right sides together.
Which is what we've done over here, so let's move over here.
With the diamond on its left, always with the diamond on its left.
And there it is.
End for end. The first of the 3 Y seams, there's 3 seams, and the first one is end to end, the
which
full
you have
length.
right here.
Then after you've sewn that, then you take and you finger press the seam allowance towards the diamond.
All right, and the next step?
The next step is to put the second diamond on, and I put that right sides together here. And this time you always want to sew with the triangle on top, so I start sewing from the tip. I sew up to, but not through that previous
That's the key,
stitching.
right
That's
there,
exactly right.
right there. Don't go over that.
And since we're not sewing through the seam, Alex, it's very important that the way they lock the stitches. And you can either do that by dropping your feed dogs and stitching in place, or drop your stitch length to 0, or a reverse stitch.
Or back tack.
Anything, and as long as you've locked the stitches there.
And now this last one, which is the easy part.
It is, because now all you have to do is to take these 2 seams and wrap them around so that the 2 diamond edges match up exactly. The pieces pull out of the way. Pull this triangle here down out of the way so you don't stitch through it.
And sew your 1/4 inch.
Locking your stitches again, just like we did before. That's the secret, is the locking of the stitches there.
Easy.
So when you open that up, finger press the seam allowances always towards the same diamond. It doesn't matter which one it is. So they're going towards the diamond, and in this case, the green one.
When we come back, we'll finish our Lemoyne star and see more of Sharon's wonderful quilts. Stay with us. Welcome back. Sharon Craig is here today showing us how easy the Lemoyne star can be when using her favorite Y-seam technique. Sharon, we're making the Lemoyne star, but really, why do you like it?
Well, I like the Lemoyne star because I love the Y-seaming, and I like it because I can be successful at it. And I think students will like Y-seams and not be afraid of these blocks once they realize how simple and easy this is.
Well, before break, we put together these little sections right here. Walk us through the rest of this Lemoyne star.
Okay. Once they've made the 4 what I call diamond to triangle segments, then they're going to join them, make 2 different halves, sewing the same Y seam now by sewing the diamond to the square. And remember, the first of the 3 Y seams is always end for end. The second of the 3 Y seams will stop at the previous stitching, and the third Y seam is the one that will close up between the 2 diamonds, just like the segment I've got here. Now, because we have directionally pressed the seam allowances all towards the same diamond, when I fold these 2 diamonds right sides together, those seam allowances are going to be alternating now, and they're going to give you a ridge against which they can butt up against one another, so that when we do that final 3rd seam from the outside to the previous stitching, and remember to lock the stitch there, that's going to give them perfect diamonds, and it's also going to give them a perfect intersection here.
Which brings us to this.
Right here, because now we've got the 2 halves built, as you can see, and they've got perfect diamonds on both sides. So once again, we have some more Y seams, and we're going to sew the square to the diamond, the square to the diamond. On both sides we'll do that. We'll put that square on. We have to do the first 2 seams so that the last seam we have is going to be right across the middle.
Which brings us to the last block, where we have a big hole in the center, and now we have to deal with the hole right there.
Well, and this is the real you might say tricky part, because it's the part that people notice if those diamonds match. When we put these right sides together, because all the seam allowances go the same direction, we have that alternating seam allowance in the middle again. And what we're going to do is what I call roll the points. When you lift this up, and you can see the finished diamonds, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and you roll against that seam allowance there that butts up. And when they finish at exactly the same time, then you know you're in the right position. Now, a good hint here, Alex, is rather than sewing end to end all the way across, because this is the part that's so critical. If you will lengthen your stitch to a long basting length and just put 4 stitches right across that middle there, then take it out and check it.
Then you can get it perfect before you take the final stitch.
If it's not perfect, then you can rip out the 4 stitches, but you do have to remember to lock both ends of your stitches there.
Let's quickly take a look at the quilt you brought today, starring your students. I love it.
This is a fun quilt because it uses lots of leftover bits and pieces that I had, including the schoolhouse and the center there, and lots of little Lemoyne stars that I did just in lots of practice things. And by doing all those practice stars, I had those things to use in my quilt here.
Sharon, thanks so much for showing us how easy it is to do a Y seam.
You're welcome.
And with that, you can do a Lemoyne star and many other blocks.
That's right. There's lots of blocks that have it in.
When we come back, we'll show you how to design a quilt block on your own computer. Stay with us as Simply Quilts goes high tech. Can you believe that this quilt was made with a block designed on a computer? Today, computer expert Theresa Cox joins us, and she's going to demonstrate how to turn your block ideas into reality with the help of a computer. Theresa, I think this is wonderful.
Hi, Alex.
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
How long have you been working on computers with quilts?
I've been designing quilts on computers for about 4 years now.
Is it really addicting?
It is so much fun.
Tell me what I need to look at when I go to buy a computer package to do this.
You need to find a package that will allow you to design and create your quilt on the computer, one that will print templates, estimate yardage, that sort of thing.
Are there tons available, or
There's
half
several.
a dozen?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you just need to shop at maybe at quilt stores or quilt shows. And,
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you have to have an what kind of computer? Any?
There are programs available for both IBM and Macs.
Okay, great. What's in a package?
The package will come with your disk to install the program on the computer and a manual.
Okay, and then what tools do I need?
You need
I need a computer.
Yes, a computer.
And with the computer, do you need an expensive one? Do you need a screaming computer? It can be pretty stripped down.
No, the different software packages will determine what kind of computer. They will give you system requirements that you need.
Okay, so you do need to look at what computer you have and then what package is available with it. You wouldn't want to get a package that's screaming and then have your computer not be able to accept it.
Right.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the video that you brought today, because you'll show us how it works. It's simple, isn't it?
It's wonderful,
okay,
yes.
Great.
Okay, this is where you want to design and create your quilt on the computer, and make it so easy. You've got your different grids already laid out, no graph paper needed. You got your 4-patch and your 5-patch, just basic quilting grids.
So you just click it on with your mouse and there you go.
And it changes it for you. You don't have to establish your little blocks on your graph paper. We're going to use a 4-patch grid. You've got your drawing tools down here at the bottom, and what we're going to do is take our line drawing tool and just simply click and point, and just that easy.
Just like that.
You don't even have to come close, and it snaps to the corner.
Oh my gosh, it wasn't even straight and it took care of it for you.
Exactly.
Great.
So now the problem with that is that if you want to go halfway down, it's going to snap to the corner. So now we have to change our snap, and this is where you can get very creative. It's going to change it to half block and going to divide every one of those squares in half.
So the computer just does the work for you, no big deal.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I love it.
It's very easy. So then you've got your other drawing tools. We're going to change our block back here. And you've got your square. You could draw this with the line drawing tool, or you can just simply use your square and just click and drop it in there just that fast. Same thing with circles.
All different sort of shapes. It just doesn't have to be angles, huh?
Exactly. Oval, you just stretch them out.
I could get lost on this.
You could spend hours playing on this and never get any quilting done.
Uh-oh.
It'll do applique, and you can mix your applique with your straight lines.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. Now what are we doing here?
So now you save it into your block library, and then it's there forever. And now we're going to select a block from your block library. This is the block name.
Dutchman's Puzzle.
Yes, and then this is what the block looked like in case you're not sure. Now we've got the flower too.
Look at that. And have you entered all those things in there, or were they already there?
They came with the program.
Oh, great. Okay, so now we're doing Dutchman's puzzle.
Right. So now we're going to take and stretch and enlarge this block because it's much easier to color when it's larger.
Oh.
So now we're filling them in with our little paint can, selecting different colors.
That is so easy.
It is so easy.
Wow.
It beats the whole graph paper and pencil routine.
No kidding.
And if you want to make 2 of them, you just simply copy and paste it, and there you have it.
Oh, and then you just go and repeat, repeat, repeat.
Right, you can do that. And now what we're going to show you is how you can manipulate the block. By taking and flipping it, there's no cutting it out, laying it out on the kitchen floor. You can take and flip it vertically, horizontally, rotate it left or right, put it on point.
I think I love this. Look at that.
So you can see, any way that you can lay your block out in front of you, you can do it on the computer. We're going to rotate it on an angle, 27 degrees, stretch and distort it.
Can you do any degree you want?
Any degree. Any degree.
Great. So now you just saved it there.
Right. So now we laid out all the blocks here, and now we're going to change our colors.
Just by click, that's it.
Just by click. Let's say I don't like that red. I'm going to click on it, change it to something else, and just that fast. This is where it's easier to do than on graph paper.
No kidding, or saving on fabric too.
Exactly. Now we're adding sashing. Just that easy. Selected some sash.
Oh, I didn't like it. I took it out.
Yes. We deleted it. Now we're putting on borders.
Simple as that. Oh, mitered borders. I'm impressed.
So now we're going to add a second border and color it in, and just that fast we have a quilt.
How exciting. What fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I could see how you would really get addicted to this. I mean, forget going to the sewing room. I'm going to go to my computer. Did you know that quilting, you can make new friends, new projects, and buy the quilting tools on the internet? Find out how next. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, we'd like to hear from you. Write us at Simply Quilts, care of HGTV, Box 50970, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37950. Be sure to include today's episode number. Welcome back. We're here with computer expert Theresa Cox. She's going to show us how we can have the quilting world at our fingertips through our home computer and the internet. Theresa, you are just opening up a whole new world to us today.
There is a ton of stuff out there.
What is the internet? How would you describe it?
The internet is a bunch of computers that are connected together all over the world. You've heard of it as the information superhighway, World Wide Web, internet. They're all the same thing.
Well, what's a web page?
Web page would be, if the whole highway was a book, web page would be a page in that book.
Okay, how useful is it to us quilters?
Well, because there's a ton of information available. If you want to know how to do something at midnight, you can just get on your computer and find the answer.
I love it because you see quilters are taking over the world, but shh, don't tell anybody. Let's take a look at the tape you brought that it shows us what we need to know.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is the Worldwide Quilting page, which is a good starting point. They have lots of different information on how-tos. If you want to learn how to do something, you just click on here, look down what you're looking for. Let's say you want to know how big to make a baby quilt. This is the standard measurements. It's a good reference.
Wow, it's got everything.
Everything on there. You want to find out about a teacher or something. You're traveling and you want to know if there's a quilt store in Cucamonga. You can go over here to the quilt store listing.
We can just sniff them out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who doesn't want to find a new quilt store?
That's right.
So that we've got them broken down by regions, and you just click on the area. If you're going to Europe.
There you go. It's right there. Now okay, oh, tools.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to find out where we can find some tools. Type in rotary cutter, and look, there it is. If you don't know what a rotary cutter looks like, now you do.
Okay, and so if you were shopping, you can just shop right at home.
Absolutely. There's lots of places to shop. Now this is what you would go to. These are frequently asked questions.
Very good.
So if you had a question at midnight and you couldn't call your local quilt store, you could come up here. You want to store your fabric. This is the right way to do it. Get all the information that you need.
Wow, I can't believe all this stuff.
There is tons and tons available. Now, if you want to find out some interesting things, there's lots of different things. We just did a search on Jenny Beyer, came up with her web page, and found some interesting things. She's got this quilt here, and also she has these patterns available, and you can just click down and learn how to make this, get the pattern and instructions without going to a class.
It's a private lesson from Jenny Beyer.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Any time or day or week that you want.
That's wonderful.
She's also got a lot of her fabrics, so you can see what's the latest and greatest that's available. This is the 108-inch wide backing.
I've seen it. It's wonderful.
Is it?
Yeah.
They have lots of different, this is her Christmas line for $96.
Now let's see what we have here.
This is the news groups. If you want to belong to a news group where quilters talk back and forth more informally, then this is where you would go to. If you had a project that you needed help with, somebody wrote in and told her that if she wanted to...
The world's worst quilt contest. Oh,
Yes.
Too ashamed to be seen in public. This is wonderful. Oh, that's what you get when you're the winner?
Exactly.
How fun. It's like you've got everything right there at your fingertips.
Anytime, day or week.
I love it. It's totally addicting. I want to thank you so much for coming.
You're
You've just
welcome.
scratched the surface. It's something I'd like to go home and play with a lot longer. Also, thanks to Sharon Craig, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Simply Quilts.